What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Equinox Cars. In today's episode, I'm going to be telling you guys how I got my Dodge Charger in my 20s. Before we get into that, I just want to say real quick that I am getting my hair cut soon. I know it looks ridiculous for YouTube. I want to start taking YouTube a lot more seriously and hopefully one day make something of it. So I hope you guys are following along with me and we can start pushing out some really good content with my new Dodge Charger, and I'm super excited to start pumping out some new videos for you guys. Okay guys, so how you get a Charger or any car in your 20s or even when you're a teenager. So in my opinion, your first car as a teenager should be something on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that. Something cheap and reliable that can get you back and forth. If it snows, I would recommend getting all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive and get something that's good on gas, because these are going to save you money. If you're a teenager and you're going to school, high school or college or anything like that, you just need something reliable, something you don't have to make payments on. All right, you guys, so let's say you guys are ready to finance your first car. You're done with your first car and you're ready for something new. Maybe not always go used, never get anything brand new because they're going to have markup value and they're just going to be really expensive, especially with the economy that we're in right now. So my best bet is to try to get the best deal that you possibly can. So a couple of things that I recommend when you go there: have a big down payment so your monthly payments aren't going to be too crazy. Have a co-signer, whether it's friends, family, anybody, have them co-sign for you so you can get lower interest rates if it's your first time financing for anything. I also recommend starting out with like a little credit card, because you'll get way better rates if you have like a low credit card, because you can start building your credit. I have a secure credit card account and it helps my credit build. And basically credit is going to make it to where the banks that is going to lend you the money for the car from the dealership is going to be like, okay, well, if you have a low credit score or you don't have any credit at all, it's going to be hard to get the car you want, because it's too risky to put somebody new, that doesn't have credit to show for, into a brand new car that's, a sports car or something really nice or really expensive. Now, as far as a cosigner goes, a cosigner basically puts their name on the lease as well. Somebody that already has good credit, so that way your payments are going to be less and your interest rate's going to be less. So that's going to help you out in the long run. You're going to pay less in total and you're going to pay less every month, which is going to help out a lot. And sometimes it could even help out on insurance costs. If they see two people are going to be on the insurance, one of them's been driving for 30 years and you've been driving for 2 years, there's a big difference in the payment sometimes that you could be paying on insurance. Now, as far as down payment goes, I would at least do 10 to 20%, or as much as you can, honestly. Just don't go broke from buying a car, because that could be a big mistake too. You got to look at your budget, especially, and see how much you make per month at your job, and just see how much you're able to afford. If you got an apartment, how much that costs, your food costs. You need to go over everything. One big thing for me is that I did get my Charger, and I was in a little bit of a rough spot, I'm not gonna lie. So I had to get a cosigner, I'm not gonna lie, but it definitely helped me out. I would have not gotten approved without it, and that's just because I make enough money to afford it, because I'm the one paying for it. But with my cosigner, it helped me out get the payments down a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is a lot of people on YouTube and other places that will go out and buy it at their young age, but I'm going to be truthful with you. They probably either got a cosigner or they're making a lot of money from YouTube and they had a big down payment, or just completely bought it in cash. But that's always going to be more expensive if you do it that way. Sometimes in life, there's things that you have to sacrifice to get what you want, unfortunately. And if that means that you're not going to go out as much and spend money at the mall, or maybe you're not going to go on vacation this year or anything like that, I mean, you can still do all those things. You just have to budget properly. But if you want a nice car, it's going to be expensive. especially if you're a younger person. Interest rate's going to be high if you haven't built credit yet, and I just wouldn't recommend it. So those are the key things that I would do, is big down payment, and add a trade-in on top of that if possible. Get a cosigner so your interest rate and your insurance is going to be lower. And the last thing I would say is just make sure that everything is in your budget. And you know, I got a cosigner for mine, and I am very, very grateful at that. I'm just glad that I have a job where I can afford this every month, and this is finally a car that I'm going to keep. Another big mistake that some people make, and I made it many times, is I would buy cars that I really didn't fall in love with right away, and I didn't stay in love with them. Of course, I was excited to have my first car, and you know, that one I actually had for the longest because, you know, it was my first car. I knew nothing about cars before that. But after falling in love with my first car, even though it wasn't anything special, I started learning, researching, and then I fell in love with cars as a whole. So find a car that, you know, do your research, do a shit ton of research. Find a car that you guys are absolutely in love with. I don't want you guys to go out there and be like, oh, you know, I can get this for the best deal. Yeah, it's a good deal, and you're going to be saving a lot of money on it, which is, like I said, is fantastic. And this might sound like I'm kind of going away from what I was just saying about, you know, being responsible with your money and stuff, but make sure it is a car that you are in love with, or else you're going to be stuck with possibly a high payment, high interest rates, you know, crazy expensive insurance, and you don't even like the car. Another good point I want to bring up with you guys is maybe you guys found the car that you really like, but you have, you know, and you bought it, but the mileage is really high, things are starting to break down, and yeah, so just make sure you guys find the car that you're absolutely in love with, but it's in good condition, good running condition. You know, if you're not a mechanic, don't buy something with 150,000 miles. That's just how it is. Buy something with 40, 60, even 80,000, depending on the car. Don't go out there and buy something with 40,000 miles and expect it to last you 7 years that you're trying to pay it off for, just because it's your dream car. Go for something that, you know, go for your dream, but don't go for your dream in a crappy version. You know what I mean? I could have easily, for what I paid for my 2019 Charger, I could have easily gotten probably a Scat Pack, honestly, a high mileage one, and it's just not worth it to me. I got a V6, and that's okay because I'm happy with it. It's fast enough. It's a blast to drive. I'm in love with it, honestly. It is still a Dodge Charger, and it is still fun. And I know I said don't settle, but you know, you also have to look at your situation, right? I commute to work an hour every single day, an hour there and an hour back, so 2 hours I'm gone. If I was in a Scat Pack or an RT or a Hellcat, then I would be paying so much money in gas every month. My last car, which was an F-150 EcoBoost, I was putting like $30 every day in gas or more, which is insane. This Dodge Charger is definitely going to save me on gas, and that's another thing you guys should look at, is your commute to work. You know, if it snows, you need something all-wheel drive, or if you need, you know, the only reason it does snow pretty hard in my area, but I got this because I plan on hopefully getting a winter beater, something on Facebook cheap that I can get and just drive it around in the winter time, and I'll have the Charger parked until it's nice outside or I feel like driving it. At the end of the day, I was just trying to give you guys some good advice. I think that, you know, it is possible to get any car you want, any dream car. You just gotta have the right financial situation to be in. The higher the credit, the better. The more down payment, the better. Co-signers, better. And that's pretty much it. Let me break one thing down for you guys. I was watching some YouTube videos. Some guy just bought some Lamborghini, and the way he got it was he had a 700 or higher credit score. He had 50,000 cash down, and the car was 250,000. And so he got a loan for 200,000, and his payments were 2,500 a month. Granted, these people aren't making the same amount that I am. These people are making, you know, probably 3 times as much as I am per month. which there's nothing wrong with that. You can always work your way up. The more money you make, the more you can afford nicer things. You know, life all comes down to like what your priorities are, what you want to do, what you want to have fun with. I didn't get rid of my truck until basically I got my own place, and here I am in my own place. And then, you know, a month later, I traded it for my Charger. So, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Equinox Cars. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell because we're going to be putting new tires this Thursday on the Charger, and I'm super excited to bring you guys more content with it. We're going to start modifying it as soon as I have the extra money. You know, big mods coming on the way. Not to sound like that guy, because we ain't going crazy. We're going to do tint, we're going to do wheels, we're going to do intake and exhaust, and a tune. And we're keeping it at that, because you got to remember, guys, this is my daily driver. We just got to have fun with it, but we got to keep it reliable. You know, maybe down the line, once it's more paid off and all that, we can throw on a supercharger, but who knows? By that time, I might have a Lamborghini. I might have a Scat Pack or a Hellcat, or I might have an RX-7. Who knows? But anyways, guys, I'm just rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.